Hey everyone, welcome back to the Good Vibes Show for 2025. Super excited to share my next guest with you, Carmine, and he is from Italy. He's going to talk about his journey coming to Australia and playing. He plays lots of live gigs here. He's got heaps of new music. He's an independent artist and got some new releases on the scene. Going to talk all about his music and his songwriting and his Italian passions and things like that. If you're new to the show, make sure you click subscribe at the bottom. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Spotify, you can give us a rating. That would really help. And you can also check out the playlist, which has got songs from the artists of the show. I'll link all those in the description below. But let's get started without any further ado. Welcome, Carmine.
Ciao Marie, thank you very much for inviting me, and happy 2025 to everybody else, to everybody. We did it. We managed to get to 2025. Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we made it. We got here. It's been a tumultuous kind of couple of years, hasn't it, right? The last 5 years, I reckon, has been
Hectic. Yeah.
terrible. Not great.
We survived.
Yeah. But I really feel like this year is going to be awesome. I've got a really good feeling about, I don't know, everything that's going to happen this year. So let's get into your music. And you're obviously Italian.
Sure.
But we're here in WA, in Perth, in Australia. So have you been in Australia all your life? Were you born here? Did you?
I was born in Italy, in a city called Salerno, that is 20 km from Amalfi.
Yeah.
So I normally say I'm from the Amalfi coast.
Yeah.
I moved here 13 years ago, a while ago. And before I traveled a bit, I spent 5 years in Spain, 1 year in London, in the Netherlands. And then, I came here with a backpack, fell in love with the place, and I'm still here.
Awesome.
2025.
Okay, you came here with a backpack and now you've got a music career.
And now I have a few backpacks full of music gear and busy with music and life.
Okay. And you gig quite regularly in WA, right?
Sure, yeah, I do lots of solo shows. I play in a duo, I play in a three-piece. So always around during the week and the weekdays nowadays, playing, enjoying music, socializing, and
Yeah. And have you always played music since you were young, or is that something new?
Yeah, it's coming from my family. I have two brothers in Italy, and they also do music full time. So it's always been since I was a teenager.
Yeah.
I always say I have this memory. Me and my brothers, we were living together in the same room, and when it was a school day, my dad used to put every morning a different tune.
Okay.
Kind of alarm clock.
Oh, right, cool.
Yeah, it
Like
was
a morning
something.
song.
Yeah, like a morning song, like wake up, guys, it's time to go to school.
Okay.
But it was pretty interesting. I got shivers. It's a good memory. Every day you were waking up with this kind of different music that was going from Blink, 182, Pink Floyd,
Oh, wow.
some
Okay.
some Italian singers. So it was very a melange of music.
Yeah.
Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix.
Wow.
So
Yeah. And was that his way of sort of keeping you on your toes a bit? Like, what song am I going to hear today? Kind of.
I think he was kind of experimenting with us. He's also very passionate about music. So he was throwing pills of see the reaction of my boys, what's happening here.
Yeah.
I throw a bit of Pink Floyd in the morning. Let's
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. And was your dad musical? Did he play music?
Yeah, he was. He didn't play music, but he had the passion for music. That's where the passion is probably coming from.
Yeah.
Also, my mom has a strong passion for music. In both families, there is a music influence, and so we three brothers that just born and raised with the music. Lots of musical instruments in the house. Lots of singing. Lots of experimentation.
Right, cool. Did you have a lot of brothers and sisters, or just a brother, or
Just two brothers, yeah.
or just two brothers?
Two brothers, and with me three. And we had the band, this project, when we were a bit teenager age. We did some good stuff. We had kind of some managers following us. We did some festivals back in Italy. We won some festivals. We start like, not getting big, but like, we're pretty interesting. We're three brothers playing the same kind of band. And there was a friend of us playing drums. So kind of the Italian version of the Handsome.
Okay,
You know
right.
the band?
Yeah, Handsome. Yeah,
the blonde guys,
yeah.
but with like, all dark hair and like, Italian.
Italian Handsome.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. And this was in Italy then?
Yeah, that was back in Italy.
And how old would have you guys been then? Were you just teenagers?
Oh, since I was probably was like 5 years since during the time of high school till my 20s probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you would have been all the hit with the ladies then.
Well,
You would have been all the hit with the ladies and the, that's what they say in Australia. Like
yeah, like was doing parties,
Yeah.
playing for friends. We had our friends
Yeah.
following us, so it was good.
Yeah.
Lots of good memories.
Okay, good. And when you came to Australia, was it a bit like, oh, where's my family band? Where's my was it a bit?
No, the with my brothers, then we kind of we had some family issue. My parents split, and so there was a bit of kind of a big drama going on, and also music. I just got kind of a bit. How should I say? Hit by the music, because music is beautiful.
Yeah.
You can build a career, but it's also a bit like bastard, if I can use this word. And lots of expectation, lots of dreams, and then it's also very challenging then with my brothers. So we kind of I kind of decided to stay away from music for probably 10 years. I
Right,
just
okay.
stop it. When I moved here to Australia, actually, I didn't play. I didn't have a guitar for probably 6 years, 5 years. I didn't buy a guitar. I didn't play any guitar. I was just focusing on something else. And then,
Was it a bit like, I don't want to pick this up right now. It's not. I just.
Yeah, I also kind of decided to stay in Australia, so I had to kind of work my way through the visa and permanency here. So music already kind of betray me one time.
Yeah,
So I was like a kind of lesson learned. Okay, stay away, focus on something else,
Yeah.
and when you sort out, just got a guitar, a few friends, and like, oh, you're good on guitar, and start playing bands and get back into the music kind
Yeah.
of scene and kind of build up, my name here in the industry. Carmine. How do you say my name?
We're gonna get your name out in many different forms
It's
today.
hard.
So when you started picking it up again, were you surprised that you hadn't lost, or you had lost, that skill of
Yeah.
playing all the time and then having 10 years off and then
Correct. It was a bit like it's still there. Sometimes with music, you grow mentally or you grow technically.
Yeah.
So I think technically I kind of lost it, but mentally had different ideas.
Yeah.
Then I was pick up on something that I already knew, some theory, and I was just experimenting
Yeah.
and evolving. I was like a boost,
Yeah.
when you don't do something for a long time, then it comes back.
Yeah.
It's like, it was an explosion of colors, an explosion of fun
Yeah.
and dedication. And so, through a colleague at work, it's like, we're looking for a guitarist. He gave me this Gibson Les Paul and was like, we had a couple of rehearsals and it was like, wow, the magic was back.
Yeah, great. Yeah, that's awesome. I think it's different when you write songs when you're younger versus when you write songs when you're older, right?
Correct.
The things you write songs about, the topics that are like, I remember writing songs when I was very younger, 13, 14, and I had no intention of being a songwriter or anything. I would just sit there with a guitar and just, make up a little song. And I would write it out. I went to a music school and stuff like that, and I would sort of like, oh, I'm going to write a song. And they were all just like, oh, I don't love Johnny. Why doesn't Johnny love me? There was no Johnny, but you get the gist. And And they were important to me at the time. And then you just think, man, that song's just got no substance in it. It's so shit. Compared to the depth of the stuff that, just for me, just comes to me now because of life experience and shit you've gone through and, the way you look at the world. And, it's almost like that should be like everyone. I feel like if they did that in the music industry, you wouldn't have as many of these like little, crappy songs, I feel like, in terms of the content of the lyrics.
Yeah. It's always an evolution or devolution.
Yeah.
Or,
okay, could be devolution. That's true.
No, I don't know.
It could get worse.
But yeah, I think creating music, it's it's putting out what you got inside, and sometimes it's nice, bad. I think there's always a kind of love or something that gets you like shiver, emotion, something that inspires you. Like always trying to look for an inspiration. But what's an inspiration? What's for you for an inspiration? What's like it's a place, it's a person, it's a food, it's an emotion.
Yeah. Is that something you work on now? Like try to get inspiration to write more songs?
Oh, kind of. Yeah, I had the period like I think it goes on cycle. So I had this period very like I was also pushing myself where I was sometimes you have a little inspiration and then you start digging into that and start to explore around and then you work on that and slowly all the pieces come together.
The songs that you've written recently, that you put out recently, I should say, because I mean everyone writes songs that they don't. Takes time for them to come out, like as a single or whatever. Is that something that came easily to you, or you thought, I know I can write songs, I need to get into this place of inspiration to get those songs?
It was basically what happened was during COVID, had this moment of, I think everybody kind of slow down a bit, chill out. Like, we're going to die. So, like, let's take a moment. It was a moment of reflection. So,
so these songs, your new ones, My Sister and The Time's Flying.
Yeah.
That was all written in the COVID time.
During COVID time, especially like, The Time is Flying is basically about a song about a moment where you realize, always try to put a message in my song. And
the time is flying. I wonder where it's going. The time is flying. It's been a while.
Message here is a kind of universal. The time is flying. During COVID was a moment where I stopped and I was like, okay, what's happening? 2020. This is my best friend. Here's a kid. This is my mom. This is me. This is like, the people are around me, and like, what I've done, what I didn't do, what I want to do, what happened. It was just a reflection, like, the time is flying and you can't stop it. But at the same time, I kind of put myself into this new lifestyle here in Australia. So it was a moment where I was like, oh, if I was living in Italy, what would be a perfect life? Is this a perfect life? What's happening? Like, but if you want to go into depth, like, what's the meaning of life? What we're looking for here? So that's the song about. But the message is that the time is flying and we can't stop. And we're lucky to say that, like, because it means that we are alive.
Yeah.
That's
good. I mean, there's a lot, like sometimes it can seem like a superficial song and then there's a lot of depth to a phrase that you have. It can mean a lot of stuff, and it's cool that I find that cool that a song can put all that into almost like you put it all into the song, and whether people get it or not, they probably won't, or they may or may not. They may find something else that they get out of it. But it's kind of a cool little thing that a song can do.
It's also nowadays, I think the music scene has also changed a bit. Everybody, wants a nice chorus, wants that 30 seconds of, push chorus that everybody loves. And there's lots of music that is very kind of disposable. Like, everybody's creating music. There is artificial intelligence and those kind of stuff. So
is that something that you think about that bothers you?
Recently I just kind of not understood, but like got curious and start digging about and understood that like yeah, in 30 minutes you can write a song with the AI. So it's a bit like wow, wait a moment.
Yeah, hang
What's
on,
happening
hold
here?
up. Like, what am I doing with my life?
Like, you spend
Yeah.
sometimes inspiration, write a song. This is beautiful. Spend money, record, promoting, and then hey, I've done this song, guys. And then somebody else, yeah, me too. 30 minutes. Listen to this. Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah.
That's mine. Oh yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
But what?
It sounds a bit like the AI ones.
Yeah.
It's strange. I think I think it's important that we do spend time thinking about how's that going to change the world, especially if you want to stay. If you think of this as a job, right? Some people do music and it's not a job to them; it's a hobby. Their benefit is just making the songs, right? They don't care if people listen to them or not, or they grow a fan base or whatever, right? But if you want to do that as well, like you are literally now not just competing with everybody else, but like the hive mind of the world that's kind of can produce something that like I think part of it is also how you hear such a clean, consistent sound, let's say radio, right? Like or even just Spotify. You go to I would compare like your workout playlist on Spotify or whatever genre you listen to. That's kind of like the radio, right? It's stock standard, what people are used to, and your ears for the average people, not musicians, because I've got some friends who are musicians. I hate that shit. They're like, oh, it's all the same. I can't stand it, right? But for most people, the more they hear the same, the more they want to hear the same. And if anything's different, it's like, I don't know if that's like our human nature of like, oh, you're different. We sort of put that aside, or we don't, it's like, oh, it's either got to be so different and so amazing that it is something that we think, oh, that's so cool. But for the most part, like you said, it's sort of like you're looking for that hook chorus. You're looking for that sound where it's like, and if AI can just do that so perfectly,
it's interesting. But sometimes like I think the best song are the songs that you when you listen first time you're like, yes, I like, but then you listen more and have a bit more time to get into the song, and you listen more, and like in the long run, like you appreciate the song.
Of course, I would like to know where's a list of AI songs that are semi-meaningful, let's say, and be able to listen to those and compare them to songs that you already, or maybe you don't know them. They're all brand new songs, right? Let's say, is there something about a human being that writes a song that makes it just, even if you don't know it's a human being versus an AI, right? Like that. To me, there's got to be that, and I hope there's that, because that's what I feel is our special thing. But because but then you think, what is AI, right? It's just capturing all of the sentiment and all of the things that have already been done. It is capturing that human.
Correct.
Voice, right?
But you can also mix those sentiments and can highlight those sentiments.
Yeah.
So I think it's like AI is also evolving, like we evolve.
Yeah.
But I think technology has a kind of different evolution.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say, think about us, like here nowadays with computers. But if you think about, I don't know, 500 years ago, we were like we were pretty in the middle age, all right. But look about technology, like 10 years ago or 20 years ago, has kind of grow exponentially.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
And so this exponential line is like scary. Where are we going?
I think so.
Like,
Yeah, especially in our lifetime, like people who are younger, they just don't know any different, right? Millennials, .comers, whatever they've called the Zillennials or whatever these new ones that are born this year are, like they've always had the internet. Whereas when you can remember,
correct,
okay, the internet came. Like I remember, it's like, oh wow, this is like amazing and so different, and it was like, anyway, it's a
I remember this conversation with a friend of mine. I was living in Spain, in Valencia, and we were like in a park just having a beer and having a chat. And like they were the first smartphone around, and this friend of mine were like, "Yo, you guys understand that, like, in 20 years, you will have a phone with the camera and you will do everything on your phone, video calls and stuff like that. And you're like, wow, yeah, it's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so, yeah. I remember one of my friends was the first person I ever knew to get the iPhone 3.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I've still got my old iPhone 3. You open it out every so often, I find it in the junk or whatever, and you're like, yeah, this thing it just looks so clunky compared to, but I remember there was some kind of like app where you had this app where it would be like a pretend beer and it would be as if you were drinking a beer.
Yeah.
And it was like one of the first apps that was made because, when iPhones first came out, that was the first time we had apps, and it's like that thing was just the greatest party trick ever. Like, look at me, and you pay $5 for these apps to show people to pretend you. And it was like, man, that was only, what, like 15, 20 years ago? Like, it wasn't that long ago. Like, yeah, like you said, it's just growing so exponentially. It's hard to fathom where it's gonna go. Yeah.
Let's live longer so we can see.
Yeah,
and maybe contribute.
Good, yeah. But yeah, you're playing live is probably something that, AI can't do right now. But
Who
I
knows?
guess Elon Musk is building those robots. Can probably play something. But yeah, what do you get out of playing live? Like, do you do it a lot, so you must enjoy it in some ways.
Yeah, I like the contact with the people. Like, some gigs are just you play a bit of background music, but some other gigs there is interaction,
Yep.
the people dancing, the people feeling your music. Sometimes, so people crying when I was throwing a particular song. And sometimes also there are some songs that I really love playing, and so I think people feel it, like, when you like a song and you put yourself into that, like, it arrives to the people, emotionally. So I enjoy gigging, and I'm pretty focused at the moment. It's great. Releasing, apart from the the gigs that I do, private gigs, events, pubs, weddings. Also trying to push my kind of original music.
Yep.
Because it's something that it's something that is part of me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think, and when you play these gigs, you would probably put a few of your originals
Correct.
in there, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's funny. You don't say to the people. You just put your own music there, and you feel the reaction.
Yeah.
Like, people are like, I like this. What's this song?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
some people just ignore, or or sometimes I say, this is my song. So people are like, okay.
Yeah, they're listening.
They're listening,
yeah.
like, okay, it's this song,
right,
right?
yeah.
Oh no, I'm
Yeah,
curious.
Yeah. It's funny that, like, when I first started writing songs, I would do those sort of little gigs. I used to play in a cafe in Perth, and I would sort of use that to test the song out, right? Like,
Yeah.
if you, not say, oh, this is my song, just like, if, say how it feels, especially when it was brand, like, I would just play these songs that I'd just written the day before, right? Because the people who like the cafe didn't care what I played, as long as you sort of play that background music. But I mean, obviously, if it was a song about some kind of punk thing comes out, they'll probably like, no, don't play that. But yeah, and then so I was doing that for quite a while, and obviously when COVID happened, there was no live gigs and stuff for a while, and I used to do like heaps of live streams, and that's when I started. It was exactly the same time when I started recording my music, and I was making an album and whatever. And I used to do quite a lot of live streams. Every time I would do a single release, I would do these live streams for people in different time zones. For most of my fans are in the UK, Italy, Spain, Germany. They're the most fans, are then then US, and then Australia, right? As in the amount of people that would follow my music. And it really surprised me, because when you do gigs a lot, like, you expect that people, especially I think it's just a Australia thing, I don't know, maybe, but like, they're like, they don't want you to play originals, they want you to play covers, really, right? There's just there's just a thing. It's like, well, especially unless people know who you are, they're coming to see you, I guess. Like, so you're used to playing these covers, and you think, oh, people are going to like these covers more than my own songs because they love those songs, they want to hear those songs. And the feedback I got from my fans on Facebook was like, we don't need to hear those covers. Like, they didn't want them. They were
Wow.
like, play more of your own songs. Like, we just want to hear you play your own songs. And I was like, oh, okay, right, all right, rightio, right, good
Great.
for those.
Yeah.
But I used to really enjoy playing some covers because I was, you know, you would get used good at them and you've got your own style at doing them and you'd be like, yeah, and so you can, you know, I still throw those in here or there because I really enjoy playing that particular.
Yeah. I think covers are part of like, you know, our musical journey. So
Yeah.
like, you know, you grow up with some artists or you listen to other artists, you perform covers of different artists and kind of enrich you, like, you know, and also it's part of you at the end of the day. Like, you know.
Yeah. Well, it certainly informs your style, right? What you're going to write. Like the songs, it has to come from somewhere.
Correct.
Yeah. What are your main influences for this? Like,
Oh,
when I first heard that song, "The Time Is Flying," not through the whole song, but the start of it, it just reminded me a little bit of Passenger,
okay.
right?
Ah, Passenger, yeah.
Which is one of my favorite
Yeah.
bands.
Yeah, that song, yeah, it's actually like, you know, it's very country, folky, bluesy, kind of. There's the riff, pum 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 pum, and then yeah, that was the idea of the song. But then when I put together the song, like, you know, it's I record in Italy where I got two brothers, and one of those has a kind of recording studio.
Oh, okay, cool.
And helps me a lot with arrangement, with, like, you know, taste, color, like, you know. And so, yeah, we kind of decide to kind of camouflage the country and get a bit more that kind of...
that sounds like a good genre, camouflage country.
Oh, yeah.
Genre.
That's it. Yeah.
There you go.
Camouflage the country kind of taste and get a bit more rocky, spicy, or get kind of sound that we like it. Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting. Thanks. Yeah.
What are your influences mostly?
Oh,
like that you feel are your, like, what, I guess, you know, when you work with your producer or your brother and stuff, like, you probably think, okay, what are the...
There is a kind of rock influence for sure. I can throw names of bands, also Italian bands, but, like, you know, there's a kind of always a bit of rock. There's always a bit of melancholy. There's a bit of kind of sadness, but there's also, like, you know, kind of a message to deliver to the audience, like, you know, kind of something hidden behind the song. But yeah, musically wise, it's more like I try to, you know, when you got this inspiration, you have the right mindset. Like, you know, I try with the guitar or with the piano to come across with the melody or with something, and then throw some lyrics according to what I want to write, and that's how, like, you know, get
Yep. Okay.
what I'm talking about.
That happens sometimes. Hang on a minute. About your influences, like So there's no particular bands that you or styles that you try to emanate that style in the music.
Not really. I think I pick lots of different kind of like, you know, listening music all the time. I try to still, or, like, you know, pay attention to something that I like and bring into myself. For instance, Passenger, and I saw him in Perth, but I didn't know about him. Like, a friend just said, let's go to watch Passenger. Okay, who is Passenger? And then you know, it's that song, da 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 da.
If you let the light,
and you let her go.
I feel like he doesn't like that song, as in, it must be, I feel, because I watched him a lot in the pandemic do these live streams, and people were always like, play the little lights, you know, whatever called, let it go, you only need the light when it's burning low.
Correct.
That one, anyway, and he's like, I've got a new album. Something like that. He's like, I'm only playing songs from the new album. Because it's funny, like, that he's got some really, really great songs. And people just, that's for some reason, for me, that's not the best of his song, but that went the most popular, right?
I agree, and that's not the problem with
Yeah.
music, but like, you know, always been very kind of I know I have lots of friends. They also produce music, but that they do not release music. I reach a point where I think like, you know, you need to produce music, release music, and go to an audience, and maybe they like it. Maybe there is a new
Yeah.
like, you know, a new hit or something.
I mean, it's a whole nother thing what people like versus what you do, isn't it? Like, you can make...
Sure.
You think, I've got these 10 songs, or let's
Yeah.
say, and you think this will be the best one, and then everyone's like, no, this is the best one. Like, oh,
Correct.
this is the one we like the most. Isn't it?
You never know, but yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you just got to keep doing it. But I just find that fascinating because that's where you, if you're a marketing kind of person, you're kind of going, yeah, I need to do more of that, because obviously people like that. But then you're like, why did they like that when these songs are clearly better songs? Like, in your mind, they're better songs.
Yeah, but I get, yeah, the audience decide, like, you know,
Yeah.
whatever is good for you, maybe it's not good for other people. Whatever is like intense and passionate, whatever is like stupid for somebody else. So yeah, musical taste, it's a big question.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you got 2 brothers, right?
Yeah,
But no sister.
not sister.
And so where did this sister song come from?
Where did sister song? So it's pretty funny. We have so the inspiration was my grandmother.
Okay.
I have lots of family back in Italy. We have a WhatsApp chat with 25 of us, 25 cousins.
Family WhatsApp chat. Fuck.
Yeah.
We could have a whole conversation about those, right?
Yeah, but the fact, I'm in Italy. Another guy, everybody's pretty much in Salerno. A few people in Rome and Milan.
Yep.
And so my nonna was she was her birthday, 100 years old.
Awesome.
Yeah, so everybody was
Wow.
excited. Yeah, so when everybody was sending message or a video message or recording something, and so I was with the guitar and I was like, oh, my nonna, my grandmother, and I started playing something sing something for her, and just recorded this kind of melody where I was like, nonna, this is for you, happy birthday. I'm on the other side of the world. And then I kept with this melody because I was with another person and was like, this is nice, I like it.
Yeah.
And so we're like, let's write something about something my nonna was the inspiration, but was a bit like the songs basically talks about somebody in your life that is supporting you or that is close to you or that tells you the truth, even though sometimes you don't want to hear the truth, but something that is there in the good times, in the bad times. Was like something like a sister. And that's where the name of the song came, My Sister, but it's a kind of Italianized, because when you say in English, when you say sister, it sounds like sister. I don't know if you know what I mean. With an A, my sister. Yeah.
You've lost me.
All right. Well, so the song talks about somebody in your life that is there, is strong, is with you when in the good times and in the bad times.
Yeah. And sometimes that is a family thing, isn't it? Only people so close to you, almost, you've got friends, I've got friends that are like as if they're your brother or as if they're your sister. But it takes a certain person that can sort of, even not that they can do that, but you allow them to tell you.
Correct.
Right? Like, hey, you're doing this.
Correct.
You're being an idiot here, or
correct.
You need to pull your head in a bit or something like that. Yeah. Okay, what a great song. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what are you working on next? Are you working on an album, or working on a more recording, or? Yeah,
so I have another kind of song ready to be released. I feel a bit like it's a winter song, so I'm waiting for winter to come.
Yeah.
It's called The Last...
Winter is coming.
Winter is coming.
Game of Thrones reference. Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Sorry, that was a bad pun.
And then, I was in July last year, 2024. I was in Italy, so I spent a bit of time and I recorded some new kind of songs.
Okay.
So I have a kind of future EP to be released.
Okay.
With
In a different vibe to these songs?
it's a bit different vibes. It's a bit more kind of summerish. It's a bit more like there's always summer. There's this feeling. There's a song about Perth, so isolated but so beautiful.
Okay.
There is a.
Oh, you might be able to sell that to WA government.
Oh, put me in contact. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just ring up old, what's his name? Who's running the show now?
I'm not sure. Few people.
Roger Cook.
Yeah, Roger.
Just say, hey, Roger, you need a
this?
song. You need a song about Perth. Hey, that's how there's not that many songs about Perth.
Yeah.
Is it? Like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should try and see if they'll use it in the tourist bureau or something.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah, there is a celebration song. Like, sometimes we sing Happy Birthday, but I was like, I want to sing. Like, I want to release something.
Yeah.
Kind of, to celebrate, like, when it's a birthday, when there is something, a moment.
Yeah. That's a good song to write.
Yeah.
I always think about, because when you have, like, people, when you have events or, like, there's always the same songs that are used. Celebration, times, come on. That's like, okay, we need a new one. It's time for another celebrate song. It's time for another happy. There's no real Happy New Year song except for like Old Lang Syne.
Yeah, it's true. Like, and that song is from the 70s or 80s.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Mate, they must be rolling in the cash from that song. Like celebrate, like Cool and the Gang. Like, love a bit of Cool and the Gang. Yeah. Okay. So you've got a celebrational song. You've got a kind of
a song about Perth, a song about love story, a song also where I mix a bit Italian with English.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, because lots of people were like, why don't you write an Italian song?
Yeah.
So it's something that I already done in my previous life in Italy.
Yeah.
But I decided just to mix up a bit, just to, like, you know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's so good.
So I'm always very open in experimenting and see what's happening.
Do you have lots of fans in Italy?
Yeah, I got a few friends that kind of following me and through social media, listen to my music, write comments, and they're also curious because I play here in WA, so sometimes when it's winter time there is summertime here. Or Perth is beautiful, so there are lots of beautiful spots, lots of places, and so through my music I also managed to travel a bit and see nice places. Awesome. Okay,
sounds exciting. And you like to record when you're in Italy? That's what's working for you.
It's been working well for me, but also looking for because the connection with my brother is so kind of so easy to kind of communicate, but you communicate with your brother, so you just go through very, I don't know, there's no barrier sometimes.
Yep. He might just know what you're thinking without you having to articulate it too hard.
Yeah, and it gives me lots of shit too, can I say that?
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
it just it says I do the recording there, so it's like, it sounds horrible. Probably
only your brother can say that.
Only brother,
great.
Carmine, it sounds like I went to record this. This is I mean, I'm not kidding. It's horrible, but it's just try to get the best out of me.
Like I grew up with in a musical kind of a family. I played violin when I was little, and then my sister 2 years later than me played violin, and my two brothers then learned violin, and we used to go to these we played the Suzuki method, which is like you learn by ear, right? And so that you'd go to your individual lesson, and then you'd have these massive group lessons, right? So what they would do is all the kids that are learning would come, and you'd sit there row by row by row, right? And you basically play through the songbook, right? The book, right? So what was great is you'd be exposed to all these people that could play very, very well, a lot. So once a month on a Saturday, that's the kind of thing they would do in these group lessons, right? And then they would have recitals, right, where you would also have to sit there, and so you'd basically play up to what you can play, and then you sit down when you can't play anymore, sort of that kind of thing, right? And then sometimes they would pick certain people to do their solo perform, you know, like you're going to perform this or something. So there'd be like a Saturday recital kind of thing. And we just, because we were in a bigger family like that, and there was other people that would be similar, but like I always remember once, like there was two families, and because all the strings play the same songs, like there was a family, I don't even know, I can't remember the name of them, but like one was, the little girl was playing the cello and the older brother could play the violin, and so this girl had come out, right, big stage, she's sitting there by herself doing her cello thing, and you just hear this voice from the wing, like at the side, he's like, "You're playing the wrong notes." The brother's there behind, like yelling at her on the stage, like, "You played the wrong note." Poor girl, you know, like no one would have noticed unless they knew that song. I mean, everyone there sort of knew the song because they were, but it was like only your siblings are kind of gonna
are allowed to do that.
Hey, you're playing off key, or you know, yeah.
No, but yeah, exactly. Like, you know, like, you know, with brothers, sisters, like, you know, I guess you got this kind of relationship. I also have another brother, so that does not do recording, but it's also very, I think we think musically the same.
Yeah.
And so, like, you know, I share with him lots of my music, and he give me some feedback.
Yeah.
Why don't you put this chord here, change this?
Yep.
And the best, like, you know, last year we, like, you know, we sit together, the three brothers, like, you know, like the old times, and like, you know, 5 minutes we were like, you know, swearing each other, killing each other, like, you know, all the emotion of the brothers, like, you know, three musicians, like, you know, everybody with an ego, different ego. But
it's funny. I used to go busking a lot with my brothers. And we started playing people's weddings because we were like, oh, with this, especially playing violin, cello, like this is like a fucking gold mine, like just playing wedding, especially when you're younger. Like we would like, wow, we can get $100. Like this was, you know, however, you know, like, we can get $100 just to play for someone to go down the aisle. Like this is amazing. Like, you know, like playing Parker Bell's Canon or something like that. Like, I mean, I love Parker Bell's Canon for the cello because it's only 8 notes, like repeated. Over and over. The poor violin's got to kind of go. Like, you should get less money if you're the cellist in that song, because to be fair, not doing fucking nothing. It's just, you know, like it's just, anyway. If you need music for that song, it's like it's worrying. Anyway, so we used to do these weddings and stuff, and then and sometimes you just be like, you midway through the song, and you're like, you try to be professional, but you're like, you're fucking that up. Like, you're sort of having these arguments with each other, like, especially when you're busking, because you'll be like, you know, like, oh, repeat the song. And he's like, I don't want to repeat this. Do another song. It's like, I don't want to do the next song. Like, no, we're doing the next song. And then they would just start, and you're like, oh, fuck, okay, don't, like, you'd say, don't skip the next song because you've forgotten it or you didn't want to do it. Or, but it was all fun. It was all, that's
the best. Yeah. It's also for me, like, you know, I don't see them for probably I see once a year or once every 2 years. So when we go there, lots of, you know, the emotion build up. Boom.
Oh, that's cool. Like that's good. It probably comes into the recording part of it.
But I'm looking also to start recording here, because sometimes you can't wait, or like, you know, you just But I just got this kind of good balance there. Like, you know, my brother got kind of professional studio. He's been recording for 20 years, so he knows how to get a good sound, good quality. I
mean, also, it makes a difference. And also that stuff's super expensive. When you don't have much money, you got to pay for it. Well, even if you've got money, you've still got to pay for it all yourself. Yeah. So if that cost is lower, that means you can...
Oh, he charged me a lot, eh?
Oh, he charges. Does he charge?
I told you, he's an asshole. He's an asshole. Bastardo. Ciao, Angelo, ti voglio bene.
Give his studio a shout out.
No, but it's very good. It's actually...
All right. So he still charges you even though he's your brother?
Yeah,
but mate, some kind of brotherly...
Yeah, no, it's all right.
Okay, that's all right. Yeah, he's got to pay his bills too.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah,
but.
right. Yeah, but yes, it is an issue for people, right, to get to that like stage. It's an investment that you've got.
Oh,
to
it's
make
an
to
investment, yeah.
make
And
this stuff.
then you put the music out there, and yeah.
Yeah, awesome, cool. So if people want to follow you on social media and all that, we'll put all your links to those things below this episode and all that. Do you do gigs outside of WA at the moment, or it's just WA Perth mostly?
No, it's WA Perth mostly.
What's your Instagram?
My Instagram is Carmine. So
Carmine.
Carmine.
Am I
that's
getting
it.
good?
Carmine. Look, my name is like, yeah. I need a nickname, a cool nickname.
Carmine.
So it's Carmine. So CARMINE.
Yeah, so that's why I said it's in my Aussie accent before we started. I said, "Oh, how do I pronounce your name? Carmine."
Carmine.
You must see that a lot. Like, you know, like if you were called out of a list, it'd be like Carmine. So Australian accent. It's so terrible on your name.
I love it. Like my name, I'm terrible with names, so
Yeah.
like I don't.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
also my name is so interesting.
Yeah,
It's actually a color.
It's a colour?
Yeah, it's a red wine color.
Oh,
If you
nice.
Google it, Carmine color.
Okay.
I didn't know about that.
Okay, the colour of Carmine.
The color of karma. Yeah, I used to call myself like, my nickname was Karma, but that people got be like, what's your name? Karma. Oh.
Okay.
You know.
Didn't gel that well.
No, and then I start saying Carmine, Chardonnay.
Okay.
I get people like, Chardonnay, I like it. Camembert, I like you even more.
Australians are so terrible with that stuff. Like,
No,
they're real, but as in it's fine, but it's just part of what they do. Like, they might always want to make up a nickname for you that's got nothing to do with. Anyway.
yeah.
So your Instagram.
So it's a Carmine Napoli
Yep.
music
Okay.
as
We'll
well.
put that at the bottom here so you can
Yeah.
look that up. Because if you have gigs and stuff, you're going to put them on that Instagram. That's the main way you put your stuff out, right?
Correct. I put my gigs on social media
yep.
so friends and people can,
Awesome.
come check him out.
And what about finding your music? Like, where can people hear your music?
So again?
Where can people hear your new songs?
So I'm released on Spotify, all the distribution channels that are Apple Music, Spotify. You tell me.
Oh, well, some people love to send people to that Bandcamp, or you don't use that, do you? Or do you?
I'm not sure. I think I'm there.
If you use it, you'd know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Spotify. That's the best place to go.
Yeah.
On Spotify, right? Apple Music, iTunes.
Yeah, all the main one. Yeah.
Yep.
YouTube.
Awesome. YouTube. There we go. Yep. But to support artists, stream their music on Spotify 10 times. Add it to a playlist. Don't just stream it one time. Awesome. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we can look out for your new song coming in winter. And at the moment, you've got My Sister and The Time Is Flying, right? Out
Correct.
at the moment. Awesome. Thank you so much for your sharing with us today.
Thank you, Marie, for inviting me for the good vibe.
Yeah.
Such a good vibe.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure. So if you're still here at this part of the show, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're here on YouTube, click the subscribe button, the like button, any other buttons that are there. Feel free to click them.
Push everything.
Push it all. Push it all and see what happens. But yeah, before you push them all, make sure you click subscribe. And if you're listening on Spotify, rate our show. That would be awesome because it makes people have a more opportunity to find the show. So on Spotify podcasts. And I look forward to seeing you again in 2025. And the other thing I want to mention is we've got a playlist for the show. So if you love to hear the music of the artists that I'm chatting with, I can't put their songs in the show on YouTube, particularly because it just gets flagged for copyright reasons. And so what I've done is I've created a Spotify playlist where you can hear the interview, and then afterwards there's links to the artist's music, because like the new artists, you might be discovering them. You might think, I want to hear what their song's like. Well, I want to hear what that sounds like. So you can go and do that interactively in that playlist. So it's called the Good Vibes Show playlist on Spotify, and there's also a playlist just with the music from the artists from the Good Vibes show. So hopefully that will give you something to get excited about. Thanks so much, Carmine.
Thanks, Marie. Un abbraccio. See you guys.
Awesome.
And a news flash, it's been reported that the world is feeling nothing but good vibes for the first time in world history.